Want a bite? Want a bite?
You ready? Let's go!
What's going on? So today we're making taco birrias with boneless short ribs from my friends at Porter Road. I will get an opportunity to share with you some of the tips and techniques that I like to do for this recipe so you can have a killer meal at your house. So let's get into it and let's have some fun. Alright, first things first, I'm just going to get my boneless short ribs out and put these here on the aluminum. The thing I like to do with short ribs, or really any kind of beef, brisket, whatever, is I always like to use hot sauce as a binder. It's just one of the things that I like to do. You don't have to use hot sauce, you can use other things, but this has always worked out well for me. And since it's taco birrias, it would make more sense. Have these in a little hot sauce, right? Alright. Now that I've got those covered in hot sauce as a binder, just basically gonna season them up. I got my own blend here that I use. We use it on a lot of cooks. It's rather kind of like a spicy mixture, almost like a fajita type of seasoning. And like I said, it really works out well for us. We use it on a lot of different dishes. And it just packs with flavor. So basically get these covered up in the seasoning. It's got a combination of a lot of things that I'll put down in the description below for you. And like I said, it just seems to work out for us. We like it a lot. We use it on a lot of dishes. So go ahead and get these seasoned up, and then we'll let these rest. And then we'll go ahead and get the grill started here shortly. And then I'll do one more showing, if you will, how I like the charcoal, just because I've been getting a lot of questions lately. And you can see how I do that. Alright, so as you can see here, basically I have the Primo XL charcoal, basically with some wood around it. This is basically post oak wood chunks. I also have another piece of post oak basically underneath this system, so basically when the charcoal starts to drip down as far as the ash, it will ignite that post oak wood block and continue to smoke and keep the meat, you know, obviously with flavor, and keep smoking it. Anyway, I'm going to show you how I basically set this up. So this is really easy. You get these little fire starter things here, which are easy to use. You have the lighter going. Alright, so as those get going, really simple. I'm just going to be taking some of the charcoal that was previously used in the chimney there, put that over top of it, and what's going to happen is the starter is going to obviously start getting the charcoal and wood caught below that, and then simultaneously it's also going to be catching the charcoal up here on top. So you can kind of see that, and like I said, we're going to let that go. Once that gets running, won't take long, usually maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Then I'll dump all that in there, and then we'll have a nice side basket ready to go. The charcoal is officially lit. I'm going to dump this down in here, spread this out, and then we'll get this going. I'll show you how I set this up for indirect smoke on the boneless short ribs. First things first, putting this in there so I can get this plate above it. I'm filling up this pan here full of water. Then just basically flipping this over top of this like that. This will allow me to basically steam, basically what this will do is inevitably kind of keep the boneless short ribs moist while they smoke. Works out for me. I've done it multiple times. And like I said, look at the color on these already. That seasoning, it's going to turn out great on these short ribs. I can't wait to see how it turns out. Stay tuned, definitely more to come. These have reached the internal temp between 168 and 172, so I'm going to go ahead and pull these off, set them off to the side. Now we need to get the Dutch oven set up with all the other ingredients so we can get those in there, so stay tuned. Alright, so as you can see, I've got the Dutch oven with the water boiling. I'm just gonna add in a little bit of tomato juice, not a whole lot. Maybe just adds a little more color. When it's all said and done, you don't have to use that. And then I'm also gonna be using in chicken broth. This is gonna help enhance the flavors. First things first, I'm adding in my chilies. I'm actually using New Mexico chilies because I couldn't find some of the other ones. Next, I'm adding in basically half of a white onion. I'm also going to be adding in some diced up red bell pepper. Don't normally call for this in the recipe, but I like it. Adding carrots, believe it or not. I think that's something that's going to add a little sweetness to it. I'm adding this poblano diced up. I think it'll also add some major flavor. Also adding a little lime zest, as well as a little lime juice. Also adding in some chipotle peppers with adobo sauce. And then black garlic. We're going to add one of those in there. I'm also going to add in some oregano. And then I'm going to add in a little bit of cilantro. And I'm going to let that come to a boil. And then we'll go from there. I'm also adding a stick of cinnamon. So yeah, I'm gonna let that cook up. As that cooks up, then I'm gonna start adding some more seasonings, and then we'll inevitably strain this, blend it, and should have some awesome sauce. Now that I've got that steaming, I'm gonna go ahead and let's go ahead and get the short rib meat in there. Since this meat's been seasoned, obviously, that's gonna also disperse amongst the mixture here. So yeah, we'll get that all in, get that in there, close that up, let it rock and roll. I'm just leaving it open, all the way open. You can see that Prime 6 charcoal is rolling hot down there too. So yeah, should be a good one. Can't wait to finish this one off. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get these out of here. Basically be taking these and blending these along with some chili. And getting this back into the mixture, and should definitely add some color, so stay tuned for that. Basically just going to get these peppers into the blender here. This is going to add, obviously help add a deep rich color to the sauce, if you will, that we're going to be blending back in. Put a little bit of chicken broth in there. That'll just help blend it. And I'm going to throw in some of that seasoning, which has chili powder in it, as well as cumin and a few other things. This will also help with the color as well. Now that I've got those peppers blended up, just basically taking this, putting this back into here. It's gonna be like almost like a consomme. It's gonna help this stuff thicken up too. Inevitably though, we will be straining some of this, or majority of this. Most of the stuff in there is to add flavor. Definitely look forward to seeing how it turns out. All right, so that meat is basically coming to pull apart. So we'll be pulling this off, straining this for the birria tacos. Next, we'll get these up on the, I'll get the gas grill set up so we can start frying the tortillas, and then of course getting the meat and the cheese in there. So basically I'm going to be putting the short rib meat into the mixer here. A little trick I learned to help pull apart stuff, so let's get it started. Alright, kind of first things comes first. A little hard to get in the picture here, but I'm going to do my best I can. So what I'm going to do is just basically take this tortilla, dip it in the sauce, like that. Put it over here. We'll let that fry up. As that fries up, we'll add in the meat and the shredded queso that I have. Take my shredded short rib, place that meat in there like this. A lot like basically I just call this a fancy quesadilla. I know it's a birrias, but now that I've got that on there, basically I'm going to add on my shredded homemade shredded queso. And I suggest you get it freshly. When you do it fresh off the block, it's a lot better. But if you can find a package, by all means do so. Now that I've got that on there, like so, just basically gonna fold that, press down, of course. Let all that get melted together, and then we'll have one of the fanciest quesadillas. All right, so there's my first taco birrias off the old skillet. Basically, as you can see, I got the short rib meat in there as well as the queso. Definitely look forward to see how this turns out, and I'll let you know how it tastes. Or just for the record, put it into the sauce. Pull that tortilla out onto the skillet there. And I'm gonna just basically take again that lovely full short rib meat. Got exciting flavors in it too. I'm telling you, this recipe is definitely worth trying. You can actually taste, obviously, hints of the cinnamon in there too, which is really good. I don't know, just adds another flavor to it. Carrots kind of sweeten it up a little bit. It's really good. All right, just fold it over like so. Press it down, and then we'll fold it over in just a minute. All right, the moment of truth. Just dip them in the sauce. These are so good, honestly, and I'm not just saying that. The combination of the short rib meat along with that shredded queso, the sauce, all the ingredients together really came together quite nicely. Everything seems to be pairing excellently, and it's really, for me, honestly, if I'm gonna break it down, it's like a really fancy quesadilla. It is excellent though. It's so good. The meat is delicious. Everything about this dish is something I definitely want to try again in the future. So until next time, good cooking. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you liked what you've seen today, obviously leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you're doing, if you're gonna cook this up, and if you do, tag me and let me know. Until next time, good cooking, and thanks again for tuning in.